Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, a little less Kaylee every day. So something different I figured I would do with this video is that I decided that I would share 5 things that fat people think about. On this journey for 5 weeks now, and I've really changed my diet and my lifestyle, but I still very much think these things. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. Being over, well, at the time 345 pounds, it does really affect your life, and it really affects you mentally. 5 things that fat people think about. So number 1, you always think that people are staring at you, even if they're not. And I know there's a lot of times where I feel like people are staring at me, and I think to myself, oh, you're just being irrational, like people aren't staring at you. But I really feel like I always have someone looking at me, and I feel stupid for thinking that all the time, but I do. So yeah, especially if like I'm out working out, which is kind of funny because it's like, you know, that's a place people go to lose weight, and sometimes when I go, I feel like I'm being judged for being there. Almost like they're like, oh, why are you here? Like, clearly you don't work out, which it shouldn't be that way. It should be, you know, you should be supporting people that are really sizable and going to the gym, because obviously we're trying to make a change and trying to get healthy. No one's ever really confronted me on it, but it's just something that's always in the back of my head, is that I feel like I am out of place, even though it's exactly where I should be. So I'm not saying that these top 5 things are like they are for sure what happens or whatever. It's just a lot of it is mental. Like, this is just what a fat person thinks. A big thing that is in a lot of bigger people's heads is, will I fit? So this really branches out to quite a few different areas. So when I was in school, and when I moved to the bigger university, I was a sophomore in college, and at that point I was 320 pounds. So, you know, not far off from where I am now, but you know, I wasn't at my biggest, but I was still 320 pounds, which is very large. I had that fear, and I had a lot of anxiety about it, is if I would fit in the school desks. Well, you know, I had a lot of anxiety about it for weeks before I even moved and started the semester. Well, I get there and I go to my first couple classes, and first class I fit, second class I fit, third class I did not fit in the desk right. I was able to squeeze in, sure, but I was super uncomfortable. I think there was only 2 of us that you could tell were kind of struggling to fit in the desks, and it was super embarrassing. And it was one of those ones where you slide in and you close down the top, you know? Well, I was able to close it down, but like there was like this much of a lift, where I was just kind of sitting on my belly. And I was uncomfortable for that whole semester. In fact, I stopped going to class here and there. Like, I wasn't consistently going, and a big reason for that was because I felt so embarrassed to not be able to fit in the desk. So that really hindered my education and hindered my life. And gosh, this branches out so much. Thinking about going to a restaurant, am I gonna fit in the booth? Because, you know, everyone wants a booth whenever you go in there, like table or booth, and you want a booth, typically. Every fat person actually has a list of restaurants where we know we're gonna fit, so those are the restaurants we're gonna recommend whenever we get asked out to go out and eat. So that's one thing. And you don't want to be the, you know, you don't want to be the person that, like, you know, everyone's like, oh, I want to sit in a booth, and you're like, how about we get a table instead? that's just awkward, and then you make other people feel awkward, and that's why sometimes I may not want to go to a certain place if I'm asked to go eat somewhere. It's because I don't want to embarrass myself and I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. So going along with this too, when I turned 21, my parents brought me to Las Vegas. And when I found out I was going, I was so excited. I was so excited. And I started saving up a bunch of money and I started working overtime and everything, and I was just ecstatic. And then I realized, like, the next week after my parents told me that we were going, that I'm gonna have to ride in a plane. And then I had a really bad anxiety attack because I was thinking, oh my god, what if I don't fit in the seatbelt? That's gonna be so embarrassing because I'll probably be asked to get off the plane or whatever. And I just broke down because I was so afraid that that would happen. And the airport we're going to isn't where I live, so you know, I would end up having to have my whole family get off the plane and cancel the trip and whatnot if I couldn't fit on the seat. And all of this stuff was running through my head, even though there are things that, you know, could help the situation. I, like, once I had this breakdown, I remembered that, you know, there's seatbelt extenders, you know, maybe I'll just order a seatbelt extender off of Amazon, which I did because my anxiety was so bad about it. I did not want to ruin this trip for my family. I wanted to go really bad, and I wanted to avoid a really embarrassing situation. So I actually bought a seatbelt extender, and thank God I didn't need it. But that just kind of shows the anxiety around weight and like wondering if you're gonna fit or not. Another time where the same situation happened, except that I actually didn't fit, was when I went to Valley Fair with some friends. There's a roller coaster that is my favorite roller coaster called the Steel Venom, and I was really excited. We went to that first, and we go up to it and we get in, me and my group of friends, and Harold and I are sitting right next to each other, and you know, we're closing down and it didn't click. It would not click. Like, it was really upsetting. And you know, the worker was just like, it's not clicking, you're gonna have to get off. And so I was super embarrassed, and I was like trying to hold back tears, and I got off of the ride. I walked off, and you know, I watched my friends go on the rides, and that like prohibited me from wanting to even try any other rides because I was so embarrassed. Well, as the day goes on, I get the courage to try another ride, and again, it would not click. So I got off. I was super embarrassed, and one of my friends was like, oh, it's kind of sucks that you're so scared to ride these rides. I'm like, yeah, it's a little scary for me or whatever, but really I just couldn't fit, and I didn't want to admit that at the time because I love roller coasters. Like nothing like that scares me. I go on any ride. I go on the scariest rides, and I love it. So that's the most, probably, yes, that is actually the most embarrassing moment of my life, was whenever that seat would not click on the Steel Venom. So, and that's why it's a little bit disheartening for me right now, because I'm lighter right now, but I'm pretty much the same size as I was when I couldn't get on that ride. And I never thought I would get back up to this after I lost all that weight, but here I am. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit of anxiety right now, knowing that it wouldn't click for me right now. So yeah, that is probably the biggest thing that fat people think about is, am I gonna fit? Number 3 is something that fat people think about a lot is food. I mean, it's the reason why we're where we are. So, you know, even now, even though I've changed my whole diet and everything, I still constantly think about food. I have a much better control over it, but it's still a big thought a lot of the time. And even though I'm learning and I'm realizing about myself is that I'm not hungry all the time. I'm just bored a lot of the time, and then I eat. Like I still find myself getting up and looking in the fridge. I don't usually grab anything, but I'm still doing the same habit of getting up and opening the fridge, seeing what's in there, and then just walking away. Before, I would just grab whatever, you know, here and there. I just snack all day. But yeah, I'm still going through the motions of getting up and going to the fridge and then walking away. I don't know if that will ever change, but I mean, at least I'm not actually grabbing something. And we're constantly thinking about, you know, when is lunch? What am I gonna eat for lunch? What did I bring? And one of the biggest things I think about, and I still think about, is will it be enough? Because I don't know why, but I have a fear of being hungry. And I don't know why. Before all of this, when I ate, I would always eat and get to the point where I was really full. And then that's when would say, okay, I've had enough, because I physically feel like I can't eat anymore. And now I'm trying to rewire my brain into, you know, eating only the serving that I get myself. And then I sit back and I try to figure out if I'm full or not. And I always am. I'm always full. Like, well, not full, but I'm always satisfied. Like, I'll eat my one single portion, my diet portion or whatever, and I'm always satisfied at the end of it. So just thinking back before, you know, all the extra food I was eating to get to the point where I physically felt like I couldn't eat anymore, like, it just makes sense that I'm at the point where I'm at. So I'm really proud of myself for coming to that realization that, you know, one serving is enough. But I still definitely, like, before I start eating my meal, I still have that thought, like, is this gonna be enough for me? So trying to learn through all that. So number 4 is when you are oversized, like really oversized, like over 300 pounds, you always wonder if you stink. Like, do I smell? It's almost like a stigma a little bit. Like, you kind of accompany a really oversized person with just not smelling nice, you know? There's more surface area that you gotta take care of, that you gotta wash and everything. And every fat person has deodorant on hand. Like, you know, you can't go without your deodorant. And one of the things is that you're already self-conscious, so why not throw in smell as well, you know? You're already trying to blend in, you're trying to not be noticed, and smell is usually an indicator of someone. So, you know, you automatically just kind of throw that into something you're constantly thinking about because you're very aware that you don't fit in. Like, I don't know, I don't think I smell, but it is a fear in my mind. And, you know, I always have to have my deodorant in hand. I always have to scrub really well in the shower. Always have to have like a scrubber that's like on a stick to make sure you get everywhere. So that is definitely a thought in a lot of fat people's mind. And I've talked to, you know, my fat friends and other people, and this is a thought that we all have that a lot of probably bigger people won't admit. So I'm throwing it out there. We all think it. And then number 5 is after we eat, you know, every time for me anyways, after I eat a meal that I shouldn't have eaten, so, you know, I ate till I was really full, I always think I shouldn't have had that. I didn't need that. Why did I do that? I'm not gonna do that anymore. But yet, dinner comes around and I go and get a burger and fries and a shake or whatever, and then I have this thought again in my mind, I shouldn't have eaten that, I'm not gonna do it again. And what do you know, next day gonna go get some Chinese food and blah blah blah, you know, because I'm hungry and I know it's gonna be enough and it's my favorite. And I did well on a test, so I'm gonna treat myself. You know, it's stupid, and it's something I'm trying to get out of, that circle. And I feel like every fat person goes through that. They're just like, I don't like where I'm at right now, because I don't know any fat people that like just being fat. Like, I don't know anybody. Sure, you could be fat proud, you could be really confident in yourself, and you could be, you know, have all the confidence in the world. But in the end, you're thinking about, you know, also your health, which there is no benefit being super overweight and with your health. And your health is really the basis of everything. It's like, sure, I'm confident, I feel really good, I think I look good, but when you're trying to go up 4 flights of stairs, you're gonna be thinking, man, I'm too fat to be doing this. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. This is week 5 of my keto journey and my journey to 150 pounds. If you are on a weight loss journey, I hope that you are successful, and I hope that you follow me on mine and I could follow you on yours. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys later. Bye!